So for the ring muscle up, we can think about it as 3 different sections. We have the false grip chin, we have the transition, and then we have the dip. And then on the way down, it'll be the dip, the transition, and then the chin up. So when we train them, we need to make sure we have 3 of those components. So obviously you need to be able to do a chin up to get your chest to touch the ring in a false grip position. You need to be able to do 1 dip. Ideally, you'd be able to do multiple dips, but you only really need 1 ring dip to get a muscle up. And then we need to have that control through the transition. With the strict version, we are controlling the movement all the way through the transition. You'll see kipping variations and other variations where you use some sort of momentum to get through the transition. With the strict one, we want to be able to go very slowly through that and show control at any point, so you could stop at any part. So a good way of thinking about the false grip, I can draw a line where the ring's going to sit with chalk on my hand. So we definitely want contact with this part, and we want contact here through the hand. So when I sit the ring on it, it's going to sit perfectly there where I've just done that chalk line. So I have contact there, and then my hand is on the ring. So as you can see, I've got this part is touching, and then I'm also got a full grip on the ring as well. That allows us to be above the ring with the hand, but below the ring with the body. And then when I transition into the dip, I have my hand above the ring. So warm up for the false grip. I'm going to make a real tight fist, put the knuckles together, making sure that this part of the knuckle and this knuckle all stay touching the opposing hand. So there. And then I'm going to place the back of the hands on the floor, and I'm going to straighten as much as I can through the forearms, through the elbows, and back again. So straightening the arms and back again. So this is going to allow us to go for a full range straight arm hang position in that false grip. It's a little bit easier on the rings because you can turn the rings out. A couple of ways we can get used to the false grip. We can go into a false grip hang. So I'm just placing that part onto the rings, making sure I've got a full grip and I've still got that part of the wrist touching. Easiest one to start with is have the elbows together, and then I'm going to hold there. So hang in. Harder is to be able to go straight arms. So we can do durations there. So we can hang in those positions. So 15, 30 seconds. We could do false grip chin-ups. So you could go from your straight position, you could pull all the way up, touch the chest to the rings, and do false grip chins. And we could do a slightly easier version would be false grip rows. So just making sure with all 3 of those options, so either the hang, the chin up, and the false grip row, that we don't lose the false grip at the bottom of the position. So normally when you get out to your flexibility, your range, you'll need to turn the rings outwards to make sure you've still got that false grip position. So let's just look at the transition now. So I'm going to go into the bottom of my dip. So I'm on tiptoes, I'm in the bottom of the dip. I'm going to transition round, ensuring I have that false grip to the top of my chin up. So my chest is still touching the ring, and then I'm going to pull back round to the bottom of that dip. So I'm right onto tiptoes, most of the way in the hands, transition round, back to the top of the dip again. So I'm keeping contact with the chest the whole time. If you trace the line of your pecs with your thumbs, so the bottom of the dip, top of the chin up, bottom of the dip, top of the chin up, making sure that you always have that false grip position when you're coming below the rings. So we can use a few different ways of regressing the ring muscle up. We could do eccentrics, so we can start at the top and we can slowly go through the pattern, but from the top down. We can do partial range, so I could start halfway up in the chin up and then go from like a step or something, so I'm just doing a partial range chin up into the muscle up. Or we can do a yo-yo, so that's starting at the top, slowly coming down a little bit and then going back up again. So I'm just going to do a partial range, but from the top down. There is some options. You can use a band, you can use feet on the floor. There's some other things you can do as well. But the main ones I use is the eccentric, the yo-yos, and the partial range. So with the eccentric, you're just going to start at the top. You're going to slowly come through the dip, start the transition, make sure you're holding that false grip tight, bring the rings around to the chest, lower yourself below the ring, and then slowly down through the chin up. Partial range, you're just going to start on a step, halfway on your chin up, and then you'll come up to the transition with a little bit more power, and you'll be able to start the transition, bottom of the dip and push out. Yo-yo, this one you can change the depth on. So I'm going to come down to the bottom of the dip, I'm going to start the transition. I'm just going to go a little bit into the transition, then come back out. If that feels okay on the next rep, I'm going to go a little bit deeper, try and come back out, and then you can take that as deep as you wanted and back again. Normally, if you can go below the ring on a yo-yo, you can do a muscle up. So in summary, make sure that you have a strong ring dip, a strong ring chin up, especially in the false grip. Condition that transition, and then when you're ready, start to do the full movement either in the eccentrics, the partial range, or just go for the rep if you have the strength. Let me know if you have any questions, stick them in the comments. Normal thing, if you want any particular videos, stick it down there or send me a message. And I'll see you next time. Subscribe and thumbs up would be amazing. Thank you.